Right, Dumela. Yeah, we're on grade 12 analytical geometry, which is analytical circular geometry. Right, let's get to the question. Now, this is question number 4 from September 2018 Limpopo question paper, which is trial examination. Now, the question is a circle with equation x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y equals to 12 has a center C. Now this is the center C. Then B is the y-intercept of the circle. So B is the y-intercept of the circle here. Now B, which is given BD having equation. Now the line BD is having an equation of 3x minus 4y plus 8 equals to 0 is a tangent to the circle at B. Now this BD with a defined equation is a tangent to this one, such that B angle DC is 45 degrees and D lies in the first quadrant. So this is the first quadrant of the Cartesian plane, and then it means if they are saying this in the first quadrant, value x and y, the coordinates are more probably x and y at they get positive come. So that is what they mean by the first quadrant. Right. Now let's get to the questions. We'll analyze the instructions in the question. Right, first question they say write down the coordinates of C. Now they simply said write down coordinates of C. So they're saying 2 marks. So given this kind of question, if they're simply saying write down the equation this, so normally we know the center on the equation. Center human carry completely the square on the equation of a circle. In the form of let's get the paper. Right, if we can determine this, the center in the form of x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared equals to r squared. Now we're going to check the centers of the cycle. Then now our ability moral review this equation in the form of this part. So to get the complete the square from this first part, and then layer where completed the square. So but in short, or complete the square, if these values a and b, it will be half coefficient x, and then this b is half coefficient y, not y squared but y. Not x squared but x. So every time we fill an equation like this, varying while in the form of this, coefficient x inganyaka half yona kiona ke tlo be mo a, then coefficient ya y inganyaka half yona kiona ke tlo be mo b. Then that's why they say simply say write down. So now on the question 4.1.1, now the coordinates of C. Now if you look at the equation, we have a minus 6x. So that is the coefficient of x. So we simply say minus 6 multiplied by 1 over 2. So we'll get minus 3. And then that is the first coordinate. But everything one is the center. We change a sign because 3. That is the x coordinate. And then order we change to the form to the equation. Order we must change it, the sign again. So we tlisha ka mo change sign e tswa mo, then now we winch lona ba the same. It's kind of why solve. Right, for the y, what is the half of 4? So half of positive 4. So you simply multiply by half, then we'll get positive 2. So but that on the answer, then we change the sign of negative 2. So come forward, that will always be the case. The center. So if the formula is negative and negative here, then our numeric be as it is, be as it is. But if sometimes we share formula wale positive more, then around our inch will be a more, so you change sign be negative 2 I will change be positive. So that depends on the formula. So now if you sort this one, so you simply take them from the center or the substitute. Come on. Right, quickly let's go for 4.1.2. Now on 4.1.2, let's then determine the coordinates of B. Now looking at the coordinates of B, and then B more the x, the y-axis. So what do you do the y-axis? What are the coordinates of B so far? Now let B coordinates of my y-axis. X is 0, and then now shorter y. Now roaring y room kumane renali equation ya BD. So our equation ya BD it's about which is x like about y, but let's buy substitute kare equation we rakona kumana the other value and then plot. So now the equation of BD is given by 3x minus 4y plus 8 equals to 0. So that includes this 0, come substitute in the this equation, then we create the value of y. So what are declaring 3 into 0 and then plus 4. So the value of y will be y, and then plus 8 equals to 0. So now the is 0, rather close 8 and then sorry for that, so minus here minus 4. So rather close like minus 4y equals to 8 to sla, so equal sign change, so I have minus 8. So y equals to, so divide both sides minus 4. So I get divided by minus 4, it will be minus 8 divided by minus 4. So rather y will 2. So y equals to positive 2. So right now the coordinates, therefore the coordinates of B will be 0 and 2. So that's how we get the coordinates of B. Now J, one will go in how, but for determining the x coordinate and the y coordinate, you just get your 2 marks. So even if you write the answer only, you'll get 2 marks for knowing that on the x-axis, on the y-axis, x is 0. It's like the y-intercept, we know our y-intercept, our x, so in 0 in that case. Right, 4.1.3, determine the values of Q if x equals to Q is a tangent to the circle. Now, you get a high order question. So, now, what the value Q? Ilore x ulakanali Q, and then more x ulakanali Q is a tangent to the circle. Now, this form is a kind of an equation. So, and this or x equals to Q, have a tangent in 2 ways. That's why I'm over the values also pedi or more than 1. So mo x ka lekana le q, so e bontšha gore ke equation e loreng a ena gradient. So line ya go tlhoka gradient that's gore ke e loreng a horizontal line, and then we have this vertical line. So vertical line mo tlhakana ona will make a perpendicular line. So this line have a vertical, as well as a perpendicular to the horizontal line, then it means a gradient. The gradient is infinity. It's kind of dividing by 0, so the calculator will say error, so there is no gradient for that. So hence already the value here will be x equals to such value. It's a marginal on the x-axis. So in this case, a line that is perpendicular to the x-axis, and then it can happen in 2 ways. A circle, but a circle at 1 point, which means we can tangent. So that line must be perpendicular to this, and then also fit more at 1 point. And then we can have a recover line like this, not drawn to scale, but they will meet here, right? And then now on the other side, so that is the first side, we can have our value of q here, and then the value of q here, or line cutting the circle is the same q, or line value x will remain the same, and then x q. So x q, the value of x or the value of q will remain the same throughout this line. And then this can also we can have a tangent here, and then the line will be perpendicular to the x-axis, meaning that the value of x will also remain the same throughout. Rather, will remain the value of q for this side. Although this side, the q or x will be negative, this side will be positive. Now, there is an skill if line is perpendicular to the x-axis. Now, secondly, the value, let's say, the value of, let's do it like this. This is the radius. Now, the radius will be perpendicular to this tangent, meaning that they must meet at 90. Then if you meet at 90, this line is also parallel to this one, and then it means the value of y here will also remain the same. So the value of y remain the same, then the value of x cannot change. So that's why I targeted the value of x here. And then again, this side, the same thing should happen. So this is not drawn to scale, that's why it's but as long as the circle is a line that is perpendicular to that, the value here, you can to correspond y, will correspond to the value of y at this point. So that's what we have. It will correspond to the value of y at this point, right? Now what we can do, we can get the value of the radius, because now we know the coordinates here is 3 and minus 2. That is 3 and minus 2, and we're looking for the value of q here. So from this point to here, so if this 3, if it's about the radius from here, the radius will be from this center to the this circumference of the circle. From here to here, I can note the coordinate here. Then again, from here to here, it means I can know this coordinate here. So if I get the radius, because positive, I must add. So and then negative, maybe I can subtract. Or 3 units. Then what is left from the radius or this value? Now firstly, let's get the radius and see. Right. again, so we've got common coordinates here b, so we can use this c and b to get the radius. So now let's have this into, so 4.1.3 at 4.1.3. Now the radius, which can be CB equals to the square root of, now you know the formula, so we can say the x, the ray, minus 0 all squared, that is the value of x, plus minus 2 minus, and then the b is having the coordinates of 2 on the y. Now this is the same as r equals to, now this will be square root of 9 plus squared here, so 4 squared is 16 plus 16, so r equals to square root of 25 will be 5. So r is 5 units. So if r is 5 units, so now we know that r is 5, so r equals to 5. So how many units, or from here to here is 3 units, then from here to here is 5 units. So what will be the value of x here? Or the value of x here will be the same as this one, dealing from here to here. So meaning I must add 3 and 5 to get the value of x here. So the first value of x will be r equals to 3 plus 5 equals to 8. So meaning the value of one of the value of x can be 8 from this point. So meaning q equals to 8. Now other part, r equals to, now if r equals, then rolling from here to here is 3 units going to the left. So but the coordinates here is 0 for the x. Now if we move 3 units, then we should how many units to the left. So obviously we should 2 units, but because get the value of x here. So if that is the value of x, then what it means from this point to this point is 2 units, but the x here is negative, so we can say now the value of r, not r, the value of q, and then the value of q this side is global guy. It means we can say maybe 3 minus 5, because the remover from this 3 units and then the remover 5 units to the left. So to the left we subtract the negative by negative 5. So this will be minus 2. But even this on the graph we can do it so that simply you can say from here to here is 3 units, and then how many units are left from here to here, because this line will form a radius. So we should 2 units to the left. So to the left will be the negative, or this is in third quadrant, so we know that the value of x is negative, so meaning that one of the q must be negative. But out of these 4 marks, meaning that you can get these 2 for getting the radius, and then these 2 for the 2 correct values of q or x. At 4.1.4, calculate the coordinates of D. So here's D. Calculate the coordinates of D. So D is here. And then on this D, now it's 6 marks. 4.1.4. Now this is another high order question because we have 2 unknowns. So if we have 2 unknowns, obviously we can go for a simultaneous. And then now, what do we know about that? We know that we have the equation of BD. The equation of BD, Now so let's write it. Equation normally y equals to, especially for a straight line. So meaning we need to convert this from in the form of y. So rather, if we need to convert that, rather we can have minus 4y equals to then rather x 3x it will be minus 3x, then 8 minus 8. Now meaning that this will be y equals to minus 3 over 4x, and then it should be minus, and then that is a positive slope, so the gradient will be positive, then minus 8 over minus 4. So now this is y equals to 3 over 4x plus negative divided by negative 2.